Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, it's Josh Sub, aka AskJoshy on YouTube, and here we have a match between Masq, the blue Terran up here on the top part of Scrap Station, and Katari, the red Protoss, over here on the right side of the map. And both players are actually very, very good ladder players. I actually wrote down some of their statistics for you guys. By the end of the beta, Katari was ranked 6th in North America. Flip over to Katari here. Katari was ranked 6th in North America with a record of 113 and 58. That's a 66% win ratio. And Masq actually was number 20 on North America with a 110 and 68 record. That's about 61.8% win ratio. So both players doing very well in the North American ladder against players like Huck and Hydra and all of Root Gaming and EG. But neither player really has shown their face very much in those open tournaments. Like the Zotac Cup or ESL or IATC or basically anything. So I have to admit, this is actually the first game I've ever seen from Katari, but I am excited to see it because being ranked 6th on the entire server is no easy feat. And Masq, of course, having those impressive games against both Whiterot and Hydra that HD StarCraft actually casts, I am looking forward to see if he's really, really good or just good and had some good wins, you know, because there's a big difference between being one of the best players in the world, beating some of the best players in the world on ladder, and just, you know, having some lucky games and some good play. I mean, maybe he was on fire, maybe he's actually a prodigy and, you know, he's just been discovered. So he did send me a couple of replays, and this one I did watch ahead of time because it does have some good back and forth, and the other two games just kind of, his opponents didn't really seem to be very good. I mean, they're both good players, but in those particular games they just weren't as interesting. So this one should be pretty good for you guys. And Katari trying a gas steal here up on Masq's top geyser, so that is going to limit his options basically early on in this game. Katari, on the other hand, actually just doing very, very standard Protoss play here. Gateway followed by Assimilator followed by Cybernetics Core. That'll let him choose whether he wants to do 3 gateways or get that second gas and go ahead and get a robotics facility or Templar tech or even Void Rays. And, you know, Scrap Station, of course. Close lying positions, Void Rays can be nasty if the player is not prepared for them. And Masq going to go ahead and build that factory as soon as possible. As soon as he gets the gas, throws that up. He's got a bit of a wall funnel situation going on here. You really don't actually see this too often from players anymore against Protoss opponents. Protoss like to keep those funnels just so force fields are still effective, but Terran players against Protoss, it's not super necessary, but it's still nice, I suppose. So Masq gonna go ahead and wall off with this factory. Not sure what he's gonna be doing after that. It looks like he's gonna build a supply depot and have his first 2 Marines start whittling away this assimilator's health. Katari sending a stalker around the long way around by that Xel'Naga tower, and Masq basically making sure that Katari did not try any fast expand shenanigans. He doesn't want to fall behind in economy needlessly. Looks like Katari is going to throw down that second gateway a bit later than he actually needed to. A bit later than usual. He's got 2 stalkers already out before dropping that second gateway. And normally that would put him actually a little bit behind, since Masq does have 2 production structures already up, able to take out that assimilator finally, and the stalker just kind of pokes his head in to see what's up there, and he's only going to see some Marines, but he does spot the factory with the tech lab, so he knows that siege tanks are a definite possibility, as well as Thors possibly in the near future. So Katari gaining some valuable information. It looks like he's choosing to build a gateway and a robotics facility to go along with that, what scouting information he did receive. And, you know, 3 gateways and a robo facility basically means stalkers and immortals in my mind. And since he's already got 2 stalkers on the field, it's probably going to be likely. This one escapes with only 2 health. The 4 Marines of Masq trying to take down this other one so it doesn't escape, and it also escapes with 2 health. Masq yelling out, "No! I really wanted to kill that stalker." Sorry, I just saw an SCV and almost said it. But 2 stalkers escaping, both with 2 health each. That's pretty amazing. Not sure if it's like uber micro on Katari's part or just sheer dumb luck, but either way, able to keep those units alive. And now warp gates are finished, so he's gonna start warping in things pretty frequently, I imagine. He's got lots of money saved up, so I'm not sure why he's not going ahead. And there they are. There's some zealots. And also chrono boosting an immortal not getting an observer first. Always a valuable thing to do, just to see if your opponent is getting a Stargate or something similar, Starport in Masq's case. But Masq going to go ahead and send, looks like, how many Marines we got here? We got 8 Marines and a tank with 1 SCV for bunkers or repair, depending what he chooses to do with it. And it looks like Katari's basically got an Immortal, some Zealots, and a couple of very low health Stalkers that we saw earlier. So Masq actually in a pretty good position. I like this. You know, these sentries are not going to be enough to force field this entire ramp, so it looks like Katari does know that he's on the way. He did get a look at that army with his probe and was able to sneak back into his base. Looks like he's going to try and do some sort of flanking here with his tier 1 units on one side and the Immortals on the other. The Immortals are going to need to take out these tanks. They do very well against tanks. Obviously the tier 1 unit's doing well against Marines, so ooh, lucky positioning by Katari, able to get those Immortals right on the tanks and have those tier 1 units mop up the Marines. So it looks like Masq basically had everything rallied over there. If you see, there's 4 Marines in a line running back to the Xel'Naga Tower, also a tank and a Marine way on the other side of the map. So pretty much all he's built so far are Marines and tanks. He does have a Starport up, getting a Tech Lab on it, so may see some Banshees or at least a Raven on the field shortly. And Katari now throwing up a Nexus at 56 food, about 8.5 minutes into the game. Masq still choosing not to expand. Don't see a command center in the works anywhere, so looks like this one-base play from Masq is going to have to do the job, or Katari is going to pull ahead and income and be able to tech up to Colossi or Templar and really be effective against all those Marines that Masq is building. Basically has 1 barracks, 1 factory, and 1 starport, deciding now which direction he's going to be going. He does have 2 more barracks added on over here, but only getting Marines out of them. Would like to see at least a tech lab somewhere on one of the barracks to go ahead and get some upgrades for those Marines. But Katari pushing up now with his Immortals and a couple of tier 1 units. It looks like they are going to fall. He does an observer on the field now just in case. He's going to force field that ramp so he can escape with what little units he has left. Basically 1 sentry and 2 Immortals. Not too effective there for Katari. It looks like he killed maybe a couple of Marines. Definitely not a good trade-off for him. Masq doing fine, sitting behind his big wall, only losing 1 supply depot. Going to go ahead and rebuild that anyway. Oh, actually Katari poking his head back in. He realizes that these tanks and Marines are kind of far out based on these observers scouting information. He is not microing his units. He's being a little slow there. He does have a warp prism on the field now. I guess that's better. Save some time from having to send a probe all the long way around, and instead you know, able to just turn into phasing mode and let a Zealot and 2 more Stalkers warp in. I actually like that use of a warp prism. Usually we'll see like some Storm drops or Immortal drops, even a Colossus drop and once in a blue moon, but you know, just sending it over to be a mobile pylon is really a great use for it. And he only warps in 3 units there. Not sure what else he's going to be doing with it. The probe is there now, so he could warp in a pylon if he wanted to. That expansion of his is starting to get saturated a bit more. Oh, what happened over here? We had a Banshee actually come in and kill some probes. It looks like. I'm going to back it up just a wee bit. Yep, his Banshee comes in, no cloak finished just yet, so he is just going to be out in the open killing probes the best he can. Looks like he will get 2, 3, 4. Katari warps in 2 Stalkers to try and deal with it, and the Banshee just backs off. He does not want to mess with those Stalkers. But a good harass, I mean, really, any harass where the trade-off is in your favor is a good harass. He only killed 4 probes, but now Katari is going to have to rebuild those probes, so he lost nothing in that exchange. Still very good for him. And Katari being a little careless with his Warp Prism, flying it right over those Marines. Warp Prism really has nothing to do with this fight. Should have just stayed back here with the probe. Looks like these Immortals are taking some fire. This last Immortal of Katari not being microed at all, falling to this Marine, tank, and Banshee army of Masq. He is going to leave his observer up there, but flee with everything else. 2 Immortals still on the field, 2 Stalkers. Warp Prism with 2 health. That seems to be the running theme of this game, escaping with 2 health all the time. And the Robotics Bay did finish for Katari a little while ago, so the Colossus is trying to finish up now. He did not get the extended thermal lances just yet, and if you